As promised, I am here with the Discovery Bay dynamic duo, June and Shawna. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Come on and tell everybody why they need to move to our town.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm June Jardine, and I've lived out in Discovery Bay for 35 years plus, and I've also invested out here. This is my daughter, Shauna, and we've been a team for about 25 years helping other buyers and sellers not only find their dream home out here in Discovery Bay, Brentwood, and to the East Bay, but we specialize in helping people with investments because that's what we've done. We've spent a lot of time investing our own money in our community and other communities to build wealth in real estate.
What brought you guys to Discovery Bay and where'd you come from?
Shauna?
We came from the Bay Area. We were Castro Valley area. Lived in Washington State for a little while in my childhood, and when we came to move back to California, all of our family had come out this way to Discovery Bay and Brentwood, so we would come out and visit during the summers and really loved it, and so we jumped on board and decided that Discovery Bay was our place, and we've been here ever since and love every minute of it.
Very cool. Very cool. And so you guys have been out here for 35 years. You both live here and you've invested here, like commercial or single family homes, condos, like what kind of items have you guys invested in? Items.
Well,
Kind of properties.
we've invested in both mostly single family residents, and my theory is, as far as an investor, is keeping long term. So I've kept a lot of my properties for 30 plus years. I've also invested in some commercial in the Brentwood area. I'm a real estate broker with Berkshire Hathaway. So we've been through every kind of market, whether it be an up market or a down market, but you always got to ride the waves in different markets. And so that's one of the reasons why I've always enjoyed keeping my properties, but it doesn't always make sense. That's where we help people. We try to help people either whether it be a first-time home buyer, getting in the market, doing whatever we can to get in the market so you can start building your wealth and working with your money, whether it be keeping at that property, moving to another property, adding to your portfolio. We are here to help. Plus, we do a lot of work in Discovery Bay because it's a boating community. It's a community that we live where we play. We live where we work. We help people with second homes, third homes, building their portfolio, their first home. Discovery Bay is a unique area. It's water. Most of the homes are on the waterfront, which is fresh water that leads into San Francisco. You can get from your backyard to San Francisco in your boat. And it's also a golf course community, gated communities, newer homes. So there's a big variety for a lot of different types of families, whether you're active or retired or a golfer or a boater. We do it all.
And what are you seeing in our market right now? Is it more of a buyer's market right now? Is it more of a seller's market? How are you advising your clients right now?
It's very balanced. My broker I've worked for over 20 years, Gretchen Pearson out of the Bay Area, and she calls it a balanced market. It's not really a seller's market and it's not really a buyer's market. But the good news is there's a lot of, as you know, Jen, helping buyers get into this as a buyer. You got to get creative, and because interest rates are higher, even though they're not that high, but they're higher than what people were seeing 3 years ago. So now we have to be creative. We can't just throw a sign in front of the house. We can't just get a loan. We have to be creative, whether you're getting credit back for the seller to buy down the rate. I'll tell you right now, buyers need to jump before everybody else does. That's my opinion. When is the best time to do anything? Just always be investing in real estate. You're never going to know when's the best. You just always have to know that you've got to be prepared for the long term or the short term and what your main goal is. And that's what Shauna and I do, and that's what I've done for the last 40 something. No, I've been investing. Shauna's been investing, both of us, since we were 18 plus. We've always invested in real estate, and that's where our wealth is built. Has it always been a buyer's market? Has it always been a seller's market? No, you have to ride the wave in either one of them and be prepared for that. But the wealth is built in real estate, no doubt about it.
Yeah, what do they say? Time in the market, don't time the market, time in the market, or something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure.
The short term, I mean, obviously with the prices where they are right now, we're not seeing a lot of flips. People aren't really buying and flipping and making huge profits. Or are there? Is there still that kind of, if I'm an investor and I'm coming to Discovery Bay, am I buying like a VRBO? Am I buying a single family home and putting someone in it? Is there a flip opportunity? Like, what would you advise an investor coming out this way?
So it kind of depends. I just sold one of my rental homes that I bought 35 years ago, and I keep my property. So I was devastated to sell something, but I'm trying to look at doing different things with my real estate portfolio. But he was a buyer that is a skier, and he wanted to add to his portfolio for his children. So he has 5 kids, 4 houses. He needed the 5th house. He is an avid skier, comes out here, has been coming out here being a skier, wanted to be close to fast water. This property was all that. So now he's got an investment for each one of his children, and he gets to enjoy skiing as he enjoys. It's so there's so many different, whether you're a golfer or a skier or a boater, there's the yacht club, there's the country club. We've got the hugest pickleball courts now. They've turned all our tennis courts into pickleball courts. We have events every weekend. We have a boat parade for the Christmas boat parade. We have a street Christmas parade. We have just tons of different, whether you're family, retired, or whatever, the community is very strong in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I always say we're like the last small town out this way. Everybody knows. Shawna and I joke about the Discovery Bay Mom Mafia, but it is no joke. Like, we watch out for everybody's babies. And why I wanted to bring you guys on, and what really impresses me about you is you have a way, like, we're like hidden. We're kind of a hidden gem out here. I mean, more people are starting to hear about it, but you guys have a phenomenal way about getting eyes from the Bay Area out here. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you do that marketing? Because, I mean, you're constantly bringing people in to our little area that nobody had even heard of 5-10 years ago.
So that's a good point, because every time I meet somebody new, I always ask them, how did you hear about us? Because it is kind of a hidden gem. And even after all these years, it's still a hidden gem. So when I do open houses, I always ask people, how'd you hear about us? They'll be like, well, it's kind of weird. They different ways, whether it be social media or Googling, boating community, or it's so many different ways. Mostly it's word of mouth. And we've been top agents out here for 25 plus years, and most of my clients have been referral from the Bay Area. But they come out and they buy one of these houses on the water, and then their buddies come out and they're like, oh my God, I never heard about this. So a lot of it's referral and word of mouth. But the important part about investing in Discovery Bay is making sure you're working with the right people, because there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of what you want to look for to make sure that you're making the right investment for what your wants and needs are. Because property front water is unique in a whole different than just buying a home in a neighborhood. So you want to make sure you're investing with the LeJardine Group and directing you the right way. I don't know if that helps.
And it seemed like there was kind of a moratorium on development for a long time. Like, they weren't really building anything new out here, but now we're starting to see they're building. We've got, the smaller development behind the Safeway. We've got the big stuff right down at the end of my street. There's still a lot of land out here. What is your take on what the next 5-10 years is going to look like? Do you think we're going to hang on to our little small town charm, or how big do you think they're going to get it?
Well, one of the things is pretty much the water property is pretty much there's no more water.
Yeah, there's no more water.
And there's really no more golf course. So it's all resale pretty much for the most part. You see certain streets or houses where they're tearing them down and building new ones, but they did that more back in the day. So you're not seeing that. So the new builds that you're seeing are mostly, your neighborhood, single family homes, neighborhood type thing. I mean, I don't know. I've been out here for so long, for 40 years, and I've seen so many different types of growth that has happened, and some of it that hasn't happened. They were supposed to try to build more waterfront, but they couldn't get it approved through the Army Corps of Engineers. So they'll continue to build as long as the land permits, I'm sure.
We just need some more food. That's the only thing I'm saying. We just definitely need some more restaurants. We have like 3.
3.
Three.
One more than we already have.
Yeah,
McDonald's
right.
does not count. And, in addition, you've been here, you guys, it's funny because I almost talk about there's like two sides to Discovery Bay. There's the water and the golf course and that side, and then there's, the other side where I am at the gated. And, the perception is it's all $1 million homes. It's actually not. I mean, if you buy, down in by the Safeway, those are first time home buyer houses. I can't tell you how many people I've put down there, Lakes and Lakeshore. Maybe more of a move up, but the young families, the schools are good, the parks, they've really done a good job at growing it up. We just need restaurants.
Hey, we got a grocery store and a McDonald's and a Starbucks. What else
There you
can
go.
you ask for?
I think you guys I think they got a Starbucks here before Oakley even got a Starbucks, so that's a big deal.
We just need a drive-through.
A drive-through, yeah, and some more commercial stuff wouldn't hurt either. So tell me a little bit. What's our hidden gem? What's your favorite part of Discovery Bay?
What's your favorite part? Shawna went to high school here, and now she has a high schooler. So what's your favorite part as far as being raised here and raising your son?
Yeah, well, kind of how Jen touched on, like the moms out here. We have our tight knit group, and it's we all look after each other's kids, and the kids. They have a lot of fun, and they are starting to build a little bit more for kids to have activities. They just put in a jiu-jitsu, so that's pretty cool. We're excited about that. I brought my son by there, and we were going to the gym. It's right next to the gym, so he was excited to see that, and that's nice to have for the kids. And I like that it's, they can ride their bikes around here, and it's, you really don't have a lot to worry about. They can.
Well, and they fish. You bought your son a
fish.
A fishing
At your
boat.
house, they fish.
Yeah, because we've lived on the water for many, many years, and we also have residents on the golf course and waterfront property, so it's kind of nice. And she just got a new wakeboard boat, and so, I mean, you enjoy that lifestyle, right?
And the schools are good out here. I enjoyed having my son at Discovery Bay Elementary, and now he's at Liberty. Both of Jen and my son both are, and it's been great. Yeah.
I just love, we have such traditions, like the parades. Like the Parade of Lights is so much fun. The boat parade is even better. It just, like I said, they're really try to keep it small town. Everybody knows. I send my husband to the grocery store, and it takes him like 2 hours. I'm like, what were you doing? Like, just get milk. No, he saw every single person that we knew, and he had a conversation with them.
Well, there's some really good deals out here right now as far as homes that have what's going on as far as the market today out here. It's a good time to buy, and what I'm really directing my buyers to is homes that have been sitting on the market, because we have motivated sellers, and we're getting, in the last 2 years, everybody's been kind of crying the blues, and we've been getting some of our great clients, whether they're police officers, firemen, teachers, tech people, whatever, they're coming out here and getting a good deal, and they already have built equity in a market that everybody's afraid of. Yeah. And so we've done really well with it, getting creative, getting that seller credit back, and then they're going to be golden when all these other people are going to start jumping off the fence. When the interest rates change, these guys are going to just be refinancing with built-in equity. So that's my biggest encouragement in today's market of November 2025. That's my biggest. As far as selling, Shawna and I have spent a lot of time in the last 2 years getting referred to people that were using another agent and were referred to us. And we went in and have made the huge difference that we do when we sell a home. We make a big difference. We go in, we evaluate. I tell sellers, if you're not going to listen to what I have to say, if we're not going to be different than where you were, there's no reason to hire me, but we will make a difference. We go in, we do some boutique staging, spend time arranging the house, decluttering. We have amazing professional photographer. We price it correctly because that's what needs to happen, and we get them sold. We've had probably 3 in the last 5 months where houses have sat on the market literally for months with nothing, and we've gotten in, done our job, and sold, and have had more than one offer. So we're really good at preparing and getting people's houses for sale.
And I think that's so important right now with the sellers, like to be able to advise them and for them to listen. I mean, it's not the market that it was 6 months ago or a year ago. Things have come down a little bit. Not a lot. We're in no means in a free fall or a crash, but it's almost kind of like, listen, if you're not going to listen to the professionals, maybe don't list your house right now, candidly, because right now what we're seeing, I know the majority of the deals coming through this office are credits towards closing costs, buy downs, I had one the other day, I haven't had in a while, a huge credit for carpet because the carpet was thrashed. I mean, people are making deals, but you've got to be willing to make the deal if you want to sell your house right now.
True. Yeah.
Well, you can get water properties now for, in the eights. We got a really good deal on one for a client. Beautiful location, great views, good exposure for 800,000, which you weren't seeing anything. And it wasn't even a tear down. I mean, it's a nice property. And it's a second home for him and his family, him and his two kids. And he's been looking out here for a long time, but the prices were too high. So you couldn't get anything on the water for under $1 million. And there's definitely a lot over $1 million, but there are some opportunities for people to get on the water right now. Same with the golf course. We just sold one to a buyer that's been looking out here for 2 years. The house we ended up getting him, we negotiated the price. It's been on the market for 2 years for $950,000. We got it for him for $760.
Holy
that's huge. That was not even a year ago. They've already built $100,000 in equity. I'm not saying that you're going to always get that perfect scenario, but that's the market right now.
Question, something on the water houses. A lot of these are older, built in the East. Are you seeing them needing a lot of repairs or a lot of updating, or sellers kind of updating before they go to market?
Yes, and that's a really good point. They are older, and there's a lot of moving parts to the properties because they're not just the house. If it's a water property, you got your docks, your decks, and some of them have been replaced, some of them haven't, some of them are sold as is. And so you have to take that into the equation of how much longer is that property going to be able to have this deck that really kind of needs to be done? Like the one we were just talked about. Yeah, everything else was good, but they are going to need a new deck, and that new deck's going to probably cost them about $70,000, but they got a couple more years on that. So every situation is very different. Every home, I always tell people, every home, whether they're a buyer or a seller, every home has its own story. We don't know what the seller's motivation is. We don't know the condition. We don't know what we're going to need to negotiate. We're very hard and good negotiators, but we don't ever know because every house has its own story.
Which is why I'm always so passionate about use a local real estate agent and use a local lender, because listen, anybody can come and open a door. You need to know. You need to be able to look at a doc and be like, nope, that's not going to work. Or even as a lender, you need to know, that's going to get called on the appraisal. And sometimes, no shade to anybody from out of the area, but especially niche places like Discovery Bay, you really, really, really want someone who knows the market, knows the area, and knows what they're talking about. That could be a huge, huge issue to get into a house and then all of a sudden find out you have to replace the dock or whatever else. Houses built in the 80s, they do need some updating.
And and unfortunately, some people don't realize that. They just come out here and they have an agent. Like we get a lot of people from the San Jose, Silicon Valley, a lot of Bay Area, Fremont. We get a lot. And they don't, they think that they know the house and they're using a Bay Area agent and they have no idea. And I feel sorry for people like that sometimes because they don't know any different. They don't know that there is a difference. So that's a good point.
But to that, you guys also don't just sell Discovery Bay. So they are fantastic, and they do have ties to the Bay Area because they lived there for a while, so they know that area. Obviously, Brentwood, Oakley, Knights Inn. I mean, you ladies have sold it all. You've sold commercial, you've sold ranch, you've sold single family. So small plug, you would be in really good hands with these ladies.
Yeah. We've talked the talk, we've walked the walk, we've been in every situation personally, and we've helped everybody's, I was born and raised in Castro Valley in the Bay Area, and so I always tell people if I don't feel like I'm going to do the best job for them, I will be able to refer them, or I won't do the work. And so I'm always, may not want to hear what I have to say, but I'm always going to tell them the truth.
Well, and you guys, have done such amazing things. That one on the golf course with the 2.7 or whatever assumable loan. How lucky was that buyer? Just thinking outside of the box and doing what it needs to be done to not only market the house and get it sold, but to take care of the person buying it. Shoot,
And
I
they
almost jumped on that.
They had that listing with another agent that sat on the market, and the sellers kept saying, we have an assumable loan. Or the agent never did anything. Hey, we have an assumable loan. They hired us. They told us they had assumable loan. We immediately got the advertising, social media, sign writers, and we brought the buyer in from the Bay Area that had never bought a house before and was able to assume that loan because we made it happen. It wasn't easy. It's not easy, but yes, assumable loans. Guys got in on this house at 2.75%.
I know.
I mean, crazy. And that
Win-win
was not
for
even a
both
year
buyer and
ago.
seller, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's education. I mean, I am a broker. Shawna's been licensed for 25 years. We've worked together, and we are in the best interest of our clients, big time, helping people. And we know you are too, Jen. So it's, it's smart because a lender, people don't realize this either. A lender is part of the team. A lender, your title company, your inspectors, everybody that we work for, it's a team. It's not just a one-person effort. And so we know you've been doing this a long time, and it's important to have somebody in their best interest. This is the biggest investment in their life, and we don't take that lightly.
At all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You need a team to get you over the finish line. Okay, ladies. Well, anything that we want to say as we're wrapping up, other than that, if you want to live in Discovery Bay, these are the ladies to call.
It's not just where you live, it's how you live.
That's
Or
amazing.
they also say, live where you play, Discovery Bay. So
That's
you
what I was
can
going to
do-
say. We need a license plate of the first one because I've seen the second one.
I've seen the second one, but I like this one. Good old GPT helped us out with a little new one. It's not just where you live, it's how you live.
All right. That's,
And we
you know
live
what?
good
Let's
out
make
there.
some and we can give them to our buyers. Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks.
It was great to talk to you. Like I said, these ladies get it done. I've seen it happen firsthand. And so that's why I wanted to have you on. So if you want to come and you want to be our neighbor, call me. I will tell you how much you can afford. And then these ladies will find it for you.
Yep.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime.